Hello, everyone. My name's Reject, and right now, this is Reject and Gamers. This is the weekly Geek Out. If you don't know what that is, basically on this channel, it's something we do. We sit down and we start geeking about movies, comic books, TV shows, anime, whatever. And if you have something you want us to geek out about, put it down in the comments down below. We'd love hearing from you guys. Heck, if you just want to give us some advice on the channel or something like that, I love hearing from you guys, and I'll always answer your replies if I can. So, let's get this started. Oh my god, guys, Doctor Strange is one of the best movies out there from Marvel right now. I know, last Marvel movie I reviewed was Guardian of the Galaxies 2, which I did not really like. Doctor Strange was a movie I completely missed. I sort of went down there to go to the movies and realized it was gone. So, I feel bad for missing that because I would love to see it in IMAX 3D. And this is one of those movies I can't really spoil for you, so I will just give you the main premise of the movie. It follows Doctor Strange, the Ancient One, and not Baron Mordo in this story, he's just Mordo, who is sort of Doctor Strange's ally throughout it all. So, what happened to Doctor Strange? Doctor Strange was a very highly thought of surgeon, neurosurgeon actually, in New York at the time. So, one day after heading to a party or heading back from a party, he gets into a wreck, destroying the car, landing into water, which we did see in the credits of the movie. The not the credits, but the preview of the movie, damaging his hand severely. He spends all his funds trying to find a way to get his hands fixed so he can become that great surgeon again. And on his last attempt, he goes to the Tibetan mountain range to meet a monk called the Ancient One, who starts teaching him in the arts of the mystic arts, basically. Throughout the film, we follow mostly Doctor Strange and Baron Mordo, who are two completely opposites. Baron Mordo is, well, Mordo, I'm just going to call him. If I call him Baron Mordo, I'm sorry. He's not a Baron, he's not a Hydra wizard or whatever in this story. Baron Mordo, sorry, is simply this a warrior. He is a warrior. He was trained to battle, to fight. He doesn't care about saving a life. He just wants to protect people, and he doesn't care if that means killing someone. Doctor Strange is a man who questions everything. He wants facts. He wants to know every angle, which is interesting to see this character. They are afraid that he may turn to the dark side after asking so many questions, figuring out more of what's going on. And also, since he's the complete opposite of Baron Mordo, he is against the thought of killing. He goes by his oath, first do no harm, and he does not want to kill anyone. We especially see it after one battle he gets into where it's life or death, and he has to choose to kill this guy to live. We see him fully break down during the movie and sort of go into a realm of, I can't do this, I cannot kill. Which is simply amazing to see because it puts him in creative situations. So, let's move on. So, okay, the main bad guy in this film, I can't, is a henchman of Dormammu. This guy was a student of the Ancient One who stole a couple pages of the book to summon this great demon called Dormammu. Dormammu, he says, will grant everyone immortal life, so no one will die, no one will suffer. Yet, if you read the comics, Dormammu doesn't care about that. He'll make everyone suffer and just live through it all. Keep living. Alright, what happens next? Simply this. Dormammu. He follows around trying to take down three Sanctum Sanctorums, one in Hong Kong, one in London, and one in New York. New York, actually. And this is actually interesting to see. You're probably thinking, okay, in this film, the final battle's in New York, right? No, the defining battle, where we find out about the Ancient One and where she gets all her immense power from. The same place that her student is, the Dark Dimension. Yes, actually, she is pulling the Dark Dimension energy to be so grand, to be the Sorceress Supreme, and be the greatest magic user she could. And this is a breaking point for Mordo, who is a straight laced guy who thinks we should be good, we should do everything. And seeing how he breaks in this film and his turn to the dark side is simply amazing. And I actually hope that we get a. I actually hope that we will get a Baron Mordo movie explaining what happened either before, explaining his origins, or even just filling in the gap between Doctor Strange 2 and Doctor Strange 1. Yes, and there's going to be a 2. They already, at the end of it, said the Doctor will return. So, what happens next is simply this New York has sort of fallen. New York's Sanctum Sanctorum has sort of fallen, and the one that went to it is Hong Kong. And after the scene where New York has, I guess, fallen, it seemed like it had fallen the way they implied, and the way Dormammu starts showing up. Uh, what happens is this: they have the debate in between. Was it right for her to use those powers? Should we debate? Should we be debating this now? What's going on between Doctor Strange and Baron Mordo? Who Baron Mordo sort of going through a crisis right now, realizing the idol that he had was no good, then was just a hypocrite, saying don't do the stuff she was doing, which is basically what a hypocrite is. And during this, Doctor Strange and Baron Mordo decide at the end of this argument to go down to the Hong Kong Sanctum Sanctorum. They show up and it has already been destroyed. Dormammu showing up. So what Doctor Strange does is use the Eye of Agamotto, which is a mystic relic he can use. It has a certain ability to warp time. I bet you know what powers it. So what he does is cast a spell that reverses time, bringing back the tower and sort of stopping Dormammu from rising. Well, what happens next? You're probably asking. Doctor Strange, and this is the most creepy. This is the creepiest scene and most epic scene you'll see in this movie. Simply because this battle and the destruction that you see when they first show up is all going in reverse, so you see people just going crazy. You just gotta watch this scene. And this is what I mean by we get into creative instances with Doctor Strange not wanting to hurt anyone. During the battle, the spell is broken, freezing time altogether, and it's Wong, who is like a butler to Doctor Strange in the comics. In this one, he's a librarian slash teacher of Doctor Strange, Baron Mordo, and Doctor Strange himself. They get up and they're ready to battle. Wong and Mordo are ready to kill these guys. Doctor Strange does not want to do that. So what does he do? He strikes a deal with the devil. He strikes a deal with Dormammu, the Dark Lord, and actually tells him this. He sort of makes an interesting case. Dormammu lives in an area without time. Doctor Strange's most powerful weapon, the Eye of Agamotto, which controls time. And you should just see what he does to fully connect this. And I'm going to have to spoil this right now. So if you want to go to this, there's a time stamp on the screen. Skip to that point there, and we'll catch you up there. Okay? All right. So here's the thing: what happens? Doctor Strange creates a spell, putting a time loop around himself and Dormammu, meaning that every time Doctor Strange is dead, it restarts to when the spell was first cast. Dormammu kills Doctor Strange; it redoes itself. And there's no way to exit this loop unless Dormammu makes an agreement with Doctor Strange, allowing Dormammu to take back these servants, bring them to the dark dimension for eternal suffering, basically, and Doctor Strange wins without actually harming anyone or killing anyone. The movie. Hi guys, how you doing? We're back now, um, and simply enough, I just have to say this part. The ending of the film, seeing Mordo leave because he no longer chooses the side that he was taught for all that time, chooses the teaching of the Ancient One because of what he saw from her, what I spoiled earlier for you guys. Um, it's amazing to see this part, simply because it's not a man just angry at the world. He's a man that has been broken. Everything he's ever believed in has been shattered, had been broken, had been removed completely. And what I have to say about this film, this is a top notch Marvel film. I love this movie, and if we can get more of this, and especially the ending shot, which I really don't want to spoil for you guys, it's just the ending shot before the credits roll is the most heart touching scene you'll see in this movie. And it shows that the hero is still a man. He's not just a hero, a god among men. He's still just a person who's trying to decide what to do. And it says so much with very little noise. And actually, not that much, no dialogue, very little noise, and just all visuals, which I loved from this film. This is a must see, must have for Marvel films. If you just like superhero films in general, this is the best one. And I hope they start making more films like this. They go on to making more origin films. Because this is the way you do it. You still show the humanity in the character, making him very relatable. So, guys, I guess that's it for this Geek Out. See you next week here. Also, there will be no reject discussion this week. I'm sorry. We're having a little bit of problems with our recording. Well, I got a new recording device and we sort of erased the recording for this Thursday. So if you're new here, make sure to click like, tell us what you think about the video, tell us what you think about Geek Outs, and comment down below. Comment down below. And if you really like what you saw, you can always subscribe. That helps out a lot too. So see you next time here, guys.